Corn. What's corn going to look like as far as its consumptive use curve? It's going to look a whole lot like potatoes. Almost a mirror image to potatoes. So we could just kind of say potatoes, corn. We'll rate corn right up there with the same look. Now corn has a couple of real critical times that it has to be watered. It can be stressed young. It's not good. You don't really want to stress corn any particular time until it's totally mature. Then you got to de-water it so you can harvest it when it goes to final maturity. But when it gets in this area right in here where it is in the tassel and it is pollinating itself, it is very critical that it has the proper amount of moisture so that it knows to set maximum amount of young ears. A corn plant, if it is in stress during its tasseling stage, when it's reproducing, that initial stage of reproducing, it's going to say, well, I'm not going to have enough energy to reproduce the full ear, so I'll just do part of the ear because I'm in stress, and it won't fertilize the whole ear. And then you get a short crop. So you want that plant to be in full growth, 100% vigor when it's pollinating, so that says, boy, I'm really feeling great. We're going to pollinate and maximize our production because we can grow full ears on this plant because I'm real healthy. The more healthy it is, the more it's going to grow. So it maximizes its potential at that stage of fertilization of the silks. Then again, it becomes real critical when the ears, when the kernels fill, that they have plenty of moisture so that they fill totally full. They don't get pinched at all in the final fill process before they hit full maturity. Then after they hit that, what they call the dent, then they can take the water off them, let them dry out so you can go to harvest. Small grains are the same way. Very critical during the flowering stage and what they call the boot, and then also in the soft dough stage when it's filling the grain, that must have full water capabilities at those times to maximize the size of the kernel. Number one, to get the maximum number of kernels to set in the boot when it's pollinating, and then number two, in the dough stage when it's filling the kernel, make sure it has maximum potential to fill that berry to its maximum size. That's how you get maximum tonnage out of the crop. And corn, and as a grain crop, works the same way. We also grow sweet corn, a lot of sweet corn in this area. Similar growth pattern, except, you know, we harvest it in here. We don't let it go clear to maturity. We let it get right up to where it's nice and tender, then we go in and harvest it. So sweet corn would just have a little truncation. It'd stop here. Because we just go in and pick it right then. Otherwise it grows exactly like field corn. There is a difference in the varieties and also the length of season. We have corn that can be as little as about 75 days growing season and clear up to like 140 days growing season corn. Now you can guess that the yield on the 75-day corn is going to be considerably less than yield on 140-day corn. We're going to get a whole lot more tonnage out of that longer growing variety. But a lot of these guys will seed a whole bunch of different lengths of corn varieties because they can't get it all planted the same day for one thing. So they're going to have to stagger for that reason. Also their harvest dates, they want to stagger their harvest dates a little bit. And so it's going to depend on varietal and growing season and time of planting. Some years it's so wet they can't get into the fields until a little later into the season, so they have to grow a little shorter life corn because they just couldn't get it planted in time. So their farming has its effects on what happens and what doesn't happen on a lot of these crops.